I'm mixed heritage. I'm Hawaiian, Japanese, Irish, Polish, Jew, raised Catholic. I'm a casserole. I just thought of that. What a funny thing. Oy. And then I say oil like because of my Jewish. My grandmother spoke Yiddish. Hello. My mother was an immigrant here. She was raised in Japan till 12 and then Hawaii. So she had a very fierce sense of pride about Hawaii. The Japanese was very buried. I was born in 43. And then I came out as this light skinned, round eyed, and it was like, whew. And then my sister 2 years later, dark skin, curly hair, the whole thing. My mom would say to me, "You're lucky to have the golden skin." I didn't have to deal with the racism that two of my sisters did, and my mother. And I don't even know what to call it. It's confusing, it's painful. It feels like I don't quite belong anywhere. Interesting, as a bisexual, you kind of get that piece too. Because the world is so, you're either this or this. So as a mixed heritage bisexual, I just stand up for the continuum, and I just have to challenge all the time, myself and people around me. So I speak up a lot. That's the challenge and the opportunity, I think, of passing too. I started AIDS activism or my awareness in the early and mid 80s. And in the Star Pharmacy, there was a poster that had a picture of a white man's leg. And it said, if you see these spots, and there was something about gay cancer. And that's when it began. I went to one of the first Stop AIDS meetings, and the woman stood up and was running it. And she said, I've known 100 people that have died. And I was like, floored. Just didn't know. And as a bisexual, it was all gay, gay, gay. And I was knowing bisexual men who were getting sick and dying too. That was pushed aside always. So I became a pretty vocal advocate for bisexuals in HIV/AIDS because we weren't even listed in the statistics. And once there was educational material, we were told, well, you go get the heterosexual material and you get the gay material and put it together, that's it. All the little educational stuff, it's like, it's gay. And as if gay men don't sleep with women, hello. The identity piece doesn't match behavior. I knew lesbians that were sleeping with men. It wasn't just bisexual people over here. It was like, you have to look at the behavior. Behavior, behavior, behavior became kind of my mantra. The Safer Sex Sluts were a team of young lesbian and bisexual women that were part of a project, and our charge was to interview young lesbian and bisexual women about what they knew about HIV and safer sex. The denial, especially in the lesbian community, having women say things like, oh, I can feel the energy. It's like, what does that mean? Or I can really tell if a woman has HIV. And I said, well, what about an STD? Oh, it's almost like women don't. There was such a disconnect. It was shocking. With the Safer Sex Sluts, we had 10 women, 5 bisexuals, 5 lesbians. Perfect. And that there were 7 women of color and 3 Caucasian people. And so the mix was really good. I would say the majority of them had a little bit of exhibitionism going on for themselves because they loved the work. And we had our t-shirts, and we had dedicated to demolishing denial, Safer Sex Sluts. When women still wouldn't talk to us, we started doing sketch comedy and performing in the streets, in the bars, on the bar. There was lesbian sex clubs at the time, so we did skits, everything from like Goldilocks and the 3 Barriers. And I wrote a safe sex plastic rap song, okay? So our sisters are hurting, fighting for their lives. CFID's cancer dying under surgeons' knives. You think the government cares, works on our behalf? You know as well as I that that is just a laugh. They were educational skits because if you get people to laugh and enjoy themselves, they take in a lot more information. And how we worked it is that they had to answer a safe sex question. When they came in the front door and paid, They had to answer a safe sex question. I was the one asking the question, and it would be everything from, if I wanted to put my hand inside you, what would I do? What would have to happen? We had 3 or 4 API folks, women on the team. So we represented in the team, and we did go to an API conference down in Santa Cruz, and we came and we did a workshop and we did a big show, and the young women loved it, but there was a split that happened because some of the older women are going, oh no, oh no. There was a good conversation that happened between the women. Well, why is this disgusting? Why? We were raised with such shame and hidden everything, no language, no nothing. Shame about sex and body. API community folks always pitched money in to get me to their campus to talk on bisexuality, but I always did a safer sex workshop, always. Sometimes it was like those chemistry rooms with the seats all the way up and you're down here, and it would be packed, and I'd say, how many of your parents have talked to you about sex? Less than 10%, always. Like only a few hands. There was always like one really proud person. And I'd say, okay, was it just about how not to get pregnant? And I said, put your arm. And so there'd be like 1 or 2. I said, masturbation, HIV, STDs. And I think that's the biggest thing to overcome, is just that basic, how do we talk about sex if nobody's ever talked to us in just plain uncharged language? There's a way in which it just repeats itself. Nobody talks to us, so we have a hard time talking. Silence, that silent piece, which adds to homophobia, biphobia, all of it.